Hello again. Welcome to Dr. Scott's Maths Made Simple. Today we're going to be talking about graphs. The aim of these talks is to start from the very beginning so that people understand, it gives them the best chance of understanding what mathematical concepts are about without missing even the real basic parts. So today we're going to be talking about graphs, as I said. There are different types of graphs. There are bar graphs and other graphs, but today I'm going to be talking about X and Y graphs, where there's an X axis, so that goes along horizontally. It's called the X axis, and usually it's written that way. If we write X like that, it can be confused with a multiplication sign. So I tend to write X like that. So that is the X axis. This is the Y axis. You can see that the X axis goes up that way, that's positive, and the y-axis goes up that way, that's positive. Going down here, the y-axis goes down, it's negative, and the x-axis is negative here. Usually we mark on numbers on graphs so that we can plot points or even lines. So I've drawn the x-axis with some dots on there, some little lines on there marking the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the same with the y's. So with the x-axis, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get the idea along there on the x-axis. They're positive numbers. So what would this be? This is 0, where x equals 0. Y goes up like that, so Y would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. But again, Y is 0 here. This is a very special point where the x-axis and the y-axis cross over. It's where x equals 0 and y equals 0. And it's called the origin of the graph. So this is the origin here, where they both intersect or they cross over. So that's where x equals 0 and y equals 0. If we keep following the x line, the x-axis, so this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, this line. If we follow the x-axis back this way to the left, we go into negative numbers. So this is -1, -2, -3. and so on. And the same with the y-axis. Remember, as we go down, it's going negative. So that's negative and that's negative. So we're in the negative part of the graph. So the y-axis goes down, counting all the way down, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then it gets to -1, -2, -3, -4, etc. So we have the origin of the x and y axis, or axes. We have the horizontal x-axis, the vertical y-axis. Going up on the y-axis is positive, going to the right on the x-axis is positive. Going this way, it's negative on the x-axis to the left, and going down on the y-axis, it's negative. So sometimes your teacher might say to you, I want you to plot the point 3, 5, and they put it in brackets like that. They say plot that point, plot the point 3, 5. The first number is always the x. The second number is always the y. So that's the x and that's the y. Whenever you get two numbers to plot on a graph, it's always x, y. And the way we plot 3, 5 is we go along here, 1, 2, 3, x equals 3, and then we go up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the point 3, 5. because x equals 3 and y equals 5. You'll notice that the origin, as we said, x equals 0, y equals 0, so the origin is actually the point 0, 0. That's the origin. What if they said to you, can you please plot the point 2, 1? Plot 2, 1. Well, that's the x and that's the y. So we go along 2 to here, and then we go up 1 to there. So this point is 2 / 1. That is the point 2, 1 plotted on the graph. Now sometimes they'll even talk about negative numbers, and you mustn't get worried when they talk about negative numbers. It's just the other parts of the axes. So say they said, okay, we want you to plot the point -3, 2. So we know -3 is the x and 2 is the y. So -3 on the x-axis is 1, 2, 3 to here. That's -3. And then the 2 of the y is actually a positive number. So we go up 1, 2. And that's the point -3, 2. Because that's your x and that's your y. But what if they said plot the point -3, -2? Well, that would be similar. It'd be -1, -2, -3 for the x, and then -1, -2. So that would be the point -3, -2. So this is the point -3, +2. This is the point -3, -2. There's the point 2, 1, 3, 5. And then of course there might be a positive x and a negative y, which is the only one we haven't done. So a positive x, say 4, and -2. Plot that point. Well, we know 4 is the x and -2 is the y. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 to here. That's the x, +4, and then -2 on the y-axis. Down 1, down 2. There's -4. Sorry, that's 4, +4. My mistake, 4 -2 is here. So it's come along 4 and down 2. Now that's all I want to do today. I'm just going to do one more thing, and that is sometimes on a graph, and we'll talk about this in another tutorial, sometimes you have a line on a graph. Let's just draw a line. Doesn't matter where it goes. If the line is going up to the right, it's a positive slope. If the line is going down to the right, it's a negative slope. A positive slope goes along and up, along and up, along and up to the right. A negative slope of a line goes along and down, along and down, along and down. So this one is a positive slope. That line has a positive slope on it. This line here has a negative slope because it's falling away to the right. So we'll stop there for now, but I just wanted to show you how they plot points on graphs, and then just wanted to broach the subject of lines on graphs where they can be going up with a positive slope or falling down with a negative slope. Thank you.